Leadership is the capacity to translate vision into reality. Hey ladies and gentlemen, Atharva this side and welcome back to another video on interview experience sharing. This time I am here to share with you all another PI experience of mine which was at the FORE School of Management 2025. Actually, a very interesting thing happened with me during my PI at the FORE School of Management and I am very excited to share it with you all. So guys, please stay tuned till the end of the video, and without wasting much time, let's begin. This video will be in three parts. In the first part, I'll walk you through the online application process followed by the FORE School of Management. Then in the second part, I'll brief you about my profile, and finally in the third part, I'll actually share with you my PI experience at the FORE School of Management 2025. So beginning with the online application process, there is a common online application form for both the campuses of FORE School of Management, that is the New Delhi campus and the Gurugram campus. While filling up the online application form itself, you have to give your campus preferences as well as your program preferences, and based on your entrance exam scores and PI performance, you'll be allotted the respective programs and the respective campuses. So speaking about my journey, I had submitted my online application form for the FORE School of Management long back on 9th December 2024, and within a month or 45 days I received an intimation via email that I was shortlisted for the PI round for the FORE School of Management, and to be precise, it was on 17th January 2025 that I received the intimation via email, and I had to book my PI slot before 28th January 2025. So I had booked my PI slot for 23rd February 2025 from 9 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. and my center was Mumbai, and the venue was Institute of Hotel Management Mumbai, which is famously known as Dadar Catering College, which is in Dadar West. Then speaking about my profile, I hail from Pune, Maharashtra. My profile is 989, NCOBC category, engineer, and a fresher with a gap of 3 years. My CAT 2024 overall percentile is 86.67 and my ZAT 2025 overall percentile is 89.46. Now coming to the most interesting part, that is my actual PI experience at the FORE School of Management 2025. So since I am from Pune, I had to travel to Mumbai on 22nd February 2025 because my interview was scheduled for the next day, that is 23rd February 2025, and my reporting time was 9 a.m. in the morning. So I had booked a hostel in Bandra West, and it took hardly 15 minutes for me to commute from my hostel to the venue, which was the Institute of Hotel Management Mumbai, popularly known as Dadar Catering College, which is in Dadar West. So we had to report in the waiting room, which was in the ground floor of the institute itself. So there we were assisted by two student volunteers who were from the admissions committee of the FORE School of Management itself. First, they briefed us about the entire process which was going to happen on that day, and then they delivered a short presentation about FORE School of Management, explaining what is FORE School of Management, their placements, programs offered, recruiters, scholarships, student councils, and many more. So this took almost an hour, and our PIs started at around 10:30 a.m. Actually, the document verification process and the PIs were conducted simultaneously. Few people went for their PIs while the rest had to complete their document verification in the waiting room itself. So all the candidates were divided into 4 groups: Group 1, Group 2, Group 3, Group 4. So according to the groups, they had to go for their PIs. So I was in Group 1. So Group 1 and Group 2 had their PIs on the ground floor itself, and Group 3 and Group 4 had their PIs on the 4th floor. So I had my PI before my document verification. So I went for my PI and I was waiting outside the PI room for my turn. Actually, we had a PI and an extempore as well, conducted by the PI panel itself. So in the PI room, there was a bowl kept in front of us which had around 15 to 20 chits with the extempore topics, and we had to pick one, and that would be the topic for our extempore. While I was interacting with the people who had just done with their PI, I gathered some 3-4 extempore topics from them, and all were different. Like, one was about digital currency in India, then the other was why data privacy is important, then the other was India's growth after COVID-19. So from nowhere, I chose to read about why data privacy is important while I was waiting for my turn for the PI. And to be lucky enough, guess what? I had the same topic for my extempore. So this was very interesting and very shocking for me. Finally, they called out my name for the PI and I was all set to go. I asked the permission to come in, then I greeted the panelist and asked the permission to sit down. Actually, the panel consisted of 3 members and all 3 were male and they were in their 40s. But when I entered the room, panelist 3, that is P3, was not present at the moment. Actually, he came a little bit later, something about 5 minutes after my interview had started. So my interview was started by panelist 2, P2. Actually, the panelist 2, P2 was literally looking like the famous Marathi actor Bharat Jadhav. If anyone knows Bharat Jadhav, do comment in the comment box. All the panel members had a printout of my online application form with them. So P2 went through my online application form and first asked me about my graduation stream. So I said mechanical engineering. Then he also asked me about my graduation college. So I also told him the name of my graduation college. Then he went on to ask about my favorite subject during graduation. So I told him about thermodynamics. Then further he went on to ask a few questions related to thermodynamics, like what is Carnot cycle. So I answered this question as well, but I feel the answer was not satisfactory. Then further he asked the difference between a 2-stroke engine and a 4-stroke engine. So I answered this as well. Then he asked that do bikes have a 2-stroke engine or a 4-stroke engine. So here he tried to confuse me a little bit, but I was confident with my answer and I didn't fall for his trap. Then further he went on to ask me why MBA. While I was answering this question, panelist 3, that is P3, had already taken a seat. He interrupted in between and asked me about my graduation stream and graduation college. So I answered him as well and continued with my YMBA answer. Then since I had mentioned about my selection in Kaun Banega Crorepati, that is KBC season 12, in my online application form, so P2 was a little bit curious to know about it in more detail. So I gave him the required details as well. Then P1 took over. He asked me about my gap years. So I told him about my UPSC CSE preparation. Then P2 interrupted and he asked me about my UPSC CSE journey, like the number of attempts I had given at the UPSC CSE and till what stage I had reached in the UPSC CSE. So I answered him as well. Then P1 said, Atharva, since you have prepared for the UPSC Civil Services examination, let me ask you a few GK questions. So first he asked me that what is the historical significance of the Gateway of India, which is in Mumbai, and the India Gate, which is in Delhi. So I answered him as well. Then further he asked me that why Gateway of India was built in Mumbai. So I answered this as well. While I was answering this question, P3 was creating a little bit humor in between, just to lighten up the environment and make it more relaxing and chill. Then P1 asked me about the difference between a petrol engine and a diesel engine, since I had mentioned mechanical engineering as my graduation stream. So I answered this as well, but here he tried to confuse me a little bit, but I was confident enough on my answer and I didn't fall for his trap. Then P2 took over, since I had mentioned about I playing drums for the Bollywood music industry and performing at the pre-wedding ceremony of Mr. Anant Mukesh Ambani in my online application form. So he was a little bit curious to know about it in more detail. So I gave him the required details as well. Then P3 took over. he asked me that, Atharva, if AI is deployed in the music industry, then what would be the difference between the music composed and produced by an AI and the music composed and produced by humans? So yes, I answered this as well, but actually he was looking for a particular terminology which I was unable to tell him. So he himself told that terminology, which was resonance. Then, coming to the last part of my PI, that is the extempore. P3 instructed me about the rules and regulations for the extempore. A bowl was kept in front of me, which had around 15 to 20 chits containing the extempore topics. I had to choose one, and a notepad and a pen was also kept in front of me. The topic for my extempore was why data privacy is important, and I had 30 seconds to think upon the topic and 1 minute to deliver the content. So at the end of the first 30 seconds, P3 asked me to start delivering my content, and at the end of the next 1 minute, P1 asked me to stop. He said, Atharva, we are done with your interview. It was very nice talking to you. You are free to leave now. So I said, thank you, sir. It was nice talking to you as well. So while I was leaving the PI room, since P3 was a Maharashtrian, so he asked me in my mother tongue, "Konta gaavcha आहेस रे तू?" Which means, which city do you belong to? So I answered as Pune and I left the PI room. Then I headed to the waiting room. There they had arranged tea, coffee, and cookies for us. So I had some coffee and cookies and went on for my document verification. So during my document verification, they asked for CAT 2024 official scorecard and ZAT 2025 official scorecard, 10th mark sheet, 12th mark sheet, graduation final mark sheet, then formula for converting graduation CGPA into percentage, and workex documents if applicable. So after completing my document verification process, I left the venue at around 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. So yes, I must say that I was lucky enough to predict the extempore topic that day, and my interview was also super chill. So if I would have to rate my interview performance at the FORE School of Management 2025, then I would rate it 3.5 on a scale of 5. I'm also done with VAT GDPI for TAPME 2025, and I'll be uploading it soon. Till then, do like and share my video and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because you all very well know that प्यार बांटने से बढ़ता है. Thank you.